So, have you ever found yourself having a goal, a dream, a wish, and you get so excited about it, and you are sure that this is going to be the time you make it happen? This is going to be the time your entrepreneurial endeavor explodes. This is going to be the time you get in the best shape of your life. This is going to be the time you put more attention into your own spirit than saying yes to other people, whatever it is. Have you ever been there and been so excited, and then whether it is a day, a week, a month, a few months later, you lose steam and you find yourself forgetting what you even got started for? Well, you are not alone, and I have certainly been in that cycle over and over and over again. And at the time of this recording, the beginning of January 2025, I would gander and guess that there are some missions and visions and dreams and resolutions, or whatever you want to call them, that you are excited about, and this is going to be your season, your year. Thrive in 25, whatever it is. And I am excited for you. I'm excited for me. And I want to take you through something that I have learned that had stopped me in the past. And now I actually welcome it and run towards it because I know it's a critical step in the process of goal achievement. You see, there is something that I've heard over the years, whether it is in body transformation, business transformation, through mentorship, or all of the hundreds of thousands of hours I've put into mindset and entrepreneurship and all of these things. And there has been this common thread and theme in a lot of different ways. And when I started to recognize the similarities in the transformation of body, the transformation of business, the transformation of spirit, soul, happiness, joy, there was a few things that were popping up everywhere. And this was one of them. Now, I'll be honest, if you're new to me, I'm a girl that likes things simple. I like to make up phrases that sound fun because then I remember them. And the first time I heard about this, I heard it with some language that made my head hurt. And I took notes and I understood the concept sort of. I mean, I understood the concept of, have you ever been excited about something and then at some point not as excited and thought, shoot, this isn't going to be what I thought it was. Like, this diet isn't going to help me get fit in a week, and this business isn't going to help me get rich in a week, and this activity that I want to do, I'm not going to be able to do it right away, and wanting to learn Spanish, I'm not going to be able to learn Spanish and be fluent in 2 days. And so I understood that part because I've lived it over and over and over and over again. But I also didn't understand the concept of why and how the brain was so important in that. And so this is what I learned, and I'm going to teach it to you in the sciencey specific way, and then I'm going to teach it to you in my way. Maybe you're going to like the sciencey specific way, so let me know. And maybe you like what I made up, because I love it, and there's a dance to it, just so you know. So I call this the cycle of growth. It could be called the cycle of performance. And so the whole idea of that is you have this thing that you get excited about. It's January 1st, it's whatever, you want to lose weight, you want to build this business, this side gig is going to be the thing that changes your whole life, whatever it is. It's what is called inception, okay? Inception of an idea, and you are unconsciously incompetent, meaning you don't know what you don't know. So that diet that you see on Instagram that somebody else is talking about, you're like, that must be the secret. That concept of perimenopause, menopause, that must be the secret. That side gig must be the way to make money. That new ChatGPT, use it to make an ebook and make millions of dollars. That must be the thing. You're excited about it, and this is what it's going to be. You are unconsciously incompetent. You don't know what you don't know. It is called inception. I call it zap because your girl likes a little zap, a little lightning bolt, a little ooh, this feels good. Ooh, this is going to be it. Yes, woohoo, right? We get those. We love those. Give it to us. But then at some point, and it's different for all of us, we come to a phase called deception. And this is where we become consciously incompetent. Now we know what we don't know. Now we understand that the weight is not going to go in 3 days just because of this pill. And then we understand that this side business is going to maybe take a little bit more effort, and just one post on social media isn't going to make you a six-figure income earner. And we understand that that change from where you are to where you're going to go might not be as simple as you think. Now, this is where everybody stops. This is where everybody quits. It is where the rubber meets the road and people think, oh, this sucks. I'm out. I don't want it. This must not be the way I thought it was. It's not going to work for me, right? Have you ever been somebody that says that? So it's called deception. But the thing about deception is you want to run towards that and you want to embrace that. Now, I call it splat, because a good old splat is when you just like hit the ground and it's like, right? And you're like, this sucks. You are now conscious of what you don't know, or what you don't know. And you get to decide. This is where the line in the sand moments happen. You get to decide, are you willing to do the different activities and spend the time learning and educating and become the person that does that, and learn the habits that a fit person has, to get to the gym, to learn the exercise, to learn how to count macros, to learn how to do these different things, to learn how to show up on social media, to learn how to learn Spanish. Are you willing to invest the time into learning? Okay? So you didn't know what you didn't know, and it was great. And then comes a moment where you're like, now I know what I don't know. And this is where everyone quits, but not you. You're not going to quit, because the next phase, which is called transformation, where you are consciously competent, I call grow, because I'm obsessed with growth. This is where everything happens. This is where you decide to lean in and go back and forth with the Spanish lessons. You get the app, you go to Mexico and you learn, you speak Spanish. This is where you understand that the habits that you have created the body that you're living in. And to have a body that's different, you're going to have to move around habits. You're going to change around your calendar. You're going to see yourself as more of a priority. It takes work. Transformation takes work. Growth takes work. But when you take the step from splat and to I am committed to this outcome, and so that is where you grow. So we have zap, we have splat, we have grow, which is the messy middle, the icky sticky, that the I don't know. That's why being around people that are where you want to be is so important. That's why listening to things that remind you that the only way to get where you want to go is going to involve growth and learning new things and letting go of who you are to become who you're going to be. That only happens in that phase. But you don't get into that phase if you quit. Okay? And then the final step of that current cycle is called inception. Or it's called identity. Identity. You might have heard you are living in the identity of this person. Be her now. Be him now. What is that identity? What are the habits of that person with the identity where you are unconsciously competent? You don't even think about it. You just hit record on a YouTube and you just go for it. It seems effortless because you have gone through the growth phase. You wake up in the morning, you get your gym stuff, you take your pre-workout, you're at the gym, you're halfway through the workout before you've even realized you're at the workout. You're in Mexico and you're like, oh, dos cervezas, por favor, and it's just rolling off your tongue, and you're like, oh my gosh, I know Spanish. Oh my gosh, I'm a fit human. Oh my gosh, I've created an income in this business. I call that flow state. But you can't go from zap to flow. You can't go from this is a great idea to this is who you are. You must and will hit the phase where you get to decide, am I willing to transform and grow? Am I willing to give up the who I am for who I am going to be? And if you are listening to this in this season right now where everything's going on, you might have already hit zap. See, the whole journey of life, and one of the things I'm meant to help people, women specifically, is to understand that life is a journey and you are going to constantly go through this phase. Some people say new level, new devil. I don't call it a devil because that energy is, I'm just like new level, new cycle. You get a zap of something, you get another splat, you got to decide to grow, and then you get to a flow. And the people that you see doing the most extraordinary things that seem so effortless to you have just gone through cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle to be in that state of flow. But make no mistake, nobody gets there without the decision of that, oh, this is not going to be the way I thought it was, and the willingness to go through, to grow through that transformation phase. And so I want to impress upon you how important this is. So important, I made a dance. Zap, splat, grow, flow. I think it's different than that, but it's hard to do when I'm sitting in a chair. But we can make a rap to it. We gonna zap, we gonna splat, we gonna grow, we gonna flow. Maybe that's more jazzy. Zap and a splat and a grow and a flow. Hey, zap and a splat and a grow and a flow. Ha! I love theater, it's just kind of all those things. But I want to just end this because I want to keep it tight and polite. That when you hit that moment that you're like, oh, this isn't working the way I want it to, I want you to recognize that as a necessity. So instead say, that crazy chick said that I should welcome this. And now I get to decide. It just means that my current me is not used to these things yet. So am I willing to put in the work to transform? Am I willing to put in the work to grow? Am I willing to set up the camera and figure it out and let it not work properly and let the mic be too loud at the beginning and let the recording not work sometimes? Am I willing to do that? Am I willing to show up on social media and start sharing a story or start going live? Am I willing to raise my hand in an event and shakingly hold a microphone and speak? Am I willing to do these things? Am I willing to change the foods in my cupboard? Am I willing to tell myself another story? Am I willing to turn off the Netflix series and instead go for a walk? Am I willing to invest in learning how to be an entrepreneur? Am I willing? Are you willing? Because when you're willing and you understand that the choice to transform, to become the person that one day somebody will look at you and say, you do that so effortlessly. And if you look back on your life and things that you do right now that are effortless to you, you've gone through this phase. Maybe you didn't get a chance to decide if you wanted to grow or not. Maybe your job required you to take some courses or learn this or, and that's amazing. I've been in entrepreneurship for 15 years and I was a stay-at-home mom for 11 and had random jobs before that. So all I know is entrepreneurship. All I know is I get to figure it out. All I know is the growth happens in that sticky phase. And something came to me the other day and I've written it over and over again and it keeps calling to me. And it's this notion, I'm sure we all know about, a butterfly was once a caterpillar. And you can't go from the caterpillar. Can't go from caterpillar to butterfly. It doesn't just leap. It doesn't say, I want to be a butterfly, and just it becomes a butterfly. It goes through the icky, sticky yuck. It goes through the full metamorphosis where it becomes like gross and yucky. And if you saw it on a street, you would be like, ugh. You wouldn't choose to take a snapshot of that and show the world this beautiful, icky, sticky. But the beauty, I've always said, is in the becoming. The beauty is in that icky sticky. You are becoming the butterfly in your moments that seem difficult, as long as you are willing to persist and keep going until. Let me know if this makes sense to you. Let me know. A lot of people in my circle will message me and say, I'm in a splat. I'm in a splat. I know to celebrate this. I'm going to keep going. And what I can promise you that I know is what's waiting for you is more spectacular than what you can even imagine. And you might have heard it's not in the getting. It's not in the being that person, having that identity, having that flow. It is who you become in the process when you decide to go from the splat and walk into the transformation and growth phase and allow that to happen. It's such a beautiful thing to witness. And if I can help in any way, please, please, please let me know.